So this person told me that they wouldn't hire me after I made a video about how I think that older generations who can't keep up with technology and the way that things are running now should release their grip on power. Luckily, I didn't apply for a job with them. Unfortunately, they are still following me, but luckily they do have a really high rate of engagement with my posts, so this is all great. But they also told me that they started following me because of my Portugal content, and they feel like this isn't related to my Portugal content. But I would actually say that it is directly related to my Portugal content. Some of the most frustrating people that I meet here in Portugal are foreigners who have moved here and want their lives here and the worlds that they exist in here to be exactly like where they came from. I'll give you one guess what generation those people generally are. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of my favorite people are also older generations, and I'm talking like retired people, right? We're talking 60, 65 plus, and I know that that's not that old, but it's older than me and it's retired. Some of my favorite people are within that age group, and they love that it's different here. They embrace the differences, and they are incredibly adaptable, and they're interested. Even if it's challenging, they want to challenge themselves with those new things. Those people are phenomenal. I couldn't imagine. I left the US when I was 21. So I couldn't imagine like living 6+ decades in a country, being used to a certain way of life, a certain way that things run, and then leaving and going and doing something completely different and being able to adapt to it. I'm sure it's a huge challenge, but it's part of the challenge of moving abroad.
But on the flip side is that generation and those people who are so unwilling to change that they literally have created their own community within this community that they moved to. And mind you, I'm talking about people who chose to move here, right? I'm talking about people who are privileged and had the money and the resources to move here. I'm not talking about refugees or people who were kicked out of their homeland and didn't want to leave where they come from. I'm talking about people who made a choice. Now, further to all of this, you will see on my profile that I don't just talk about Portugal because I haven't only lived in Portugal. I live in Portugal currently, but this is the 6th country that I've lived in. I've talked a lot about moving to other countries as well. And I have seen in all of these countries that I have lived so many different broken status quos. The status quo is like what is getting us war after war after war. And I think it is our job to question the status quo. So if we go back to the original video that I made, it was about people that I work with within the Democratic Party who don't know how to use technology, which is fine, except they're still in power. So my point, if we go back to all of that, was it is so important for us younger generations, and I'm not even that young, to continue to question the status quo. These people, they shouldn't, if you don't know how to use Google Drive or like make a PDF, like I think that, that's like a really basic thing. And people will be like, oh, they have a lot of other experience. Sure, yeah, and that's important, but also you need to keep up with the world around you. And I guess the thing that's maybe the most frustrating about it, and specifically these people who, again, if we go back to the conversation, when I talk about these people, I'm talking about specific people. The thing that's most frustrating for me is that these people want younger generations to do their grunt work, right? They want us to be the ones to create the PDFs, to figure out how to use Google Drive, or just do it for them because they can't be bothered. But then that's all they want. They don't want to actually listen to us. They don't want to listen to our suggestions, our ideas. They don't want to do things the way that we do things, which work fine. They want to do their thing. They just want us to do that work for them.
So I'll take the criticism that my Bob Tracy example wasn't the best. Apologies. But I won't back down on believing that people who haven't kept up with the modern world shouldn't be gripping onto all of the power. And I won't back down from questioning the status quo. And I won't ever back down from questioning people who move abroad only to want to bring their home life with them.